Hello, welcome back to Steve's Corner. The importance of voting. I was thinking, well, election day is tomorrow, Tuesday. But I was thinking about this the other day when I was talking about, well, I think a lot about trying to be part of the solution and not the problem. It bothers me to keep grabbing and complaining about things, not being able to do anything about it. But that's where this voting comes in to be a big deal, man. You have the opportunity to help make a change in the course that we're going right now. That's why I think it's important. I swear I do. I think it's important to vote. Hey, man, it might not count, but you got to stick it in there anyways. The only sure way that it doesn't count is if you don't vote. The only thing I can do is start local. Make sure my family knows what's right from wrong. Teach them how to act. Teach them to have a little bit of character. Give them a little something to stand for, because they're not their fault for anything that happens out there. And then you move on to your local school board, your county or city managers, your supervisors or whatever you call them. They're county supervisors around here. And then move on up to your state house. We got to work from the inside, and it's like they make a jawbreaker. You ever seen they used to have a show on TV called How It's Made, I believe is what it was. And they'd show you how they made one of them different colored jawbreakers on there. Man, it took like 3 days to make one of them things. And it starts off with that little bitty ball, and then they add it on the coats to the outside of it. It's the same way of being able to affect some kind of change or make a difference in the world. To get away from this where everybody's aggrieved. Everybody's a minority part, and everybody can't be a minority. That's not possible. Everybody's a picked on class or whatever. And everybody's pushing their own minority rights on everybody. That's the only way you're going to be able to get out of all that stuff. Is to start local and build from inside out like that. And that's why this voting is extremely important, because most of the stuff you vote for aren't federal offices. You have your local dog catcher and your local sheriffs on they get elected all the time. Depending on what kind of city you live in, they might have the city water manager or whatever, that waste management person or whatever. So it's important to get out. And the thing is, it don't make no daggone difference whether you daggone voting for a Republican, a Democrat, independent, or what's this no party thing or whatever. As long as they're for the same things that you are, that shouldn't make no daggone difference to anybody. You got to get somebody that's willing to do what's right for the average person out there, irrespective of the titles or names or whatever. If you get enough of them up in there, the country would have a chance of turning around. And that's what's important. What I believe or think, is not as important as how this country is going to turn around. I just want to add a little piece to it, to where everything can start turning around and doing a little bit better for everybody. I ain't going to be around forever, but, hopefully I have grandkids, and my kids are, and maybe they'll have grandkids. In the way it's heading, man, I just don't see how it's going to be a stronger country as it once was, or as I remember it. How's that? I don't know. But it's important, whether you do it early, whether you do it absentee, whether you go down in person. I prefer to go in person myself. I've never voted early or absentee. No, I've always gone in person. But it's important to get out there if you can and go ahead and vote. Next year maybe, hey man, it's important to be a part of the process too. Maybe you can knock on some doors for some people. Maybe you can help, maybe attend a rally or something, I mean, the country's a great country. It still has a lot of possibilities and a lot of potential in the future. It does, no matter how bleak things look. I was thinking a while back, America's kind of a weird country. We end up doing real good, but we seem to have to hit rock bottom in things before we turn that corner, and then we blast off to newer heights. I think we're getting close to one of them rock bottoms right now, and I look for things to take off. Hey, it might be another dozen years, but we're getting ready to turn a corner one way or the other, I imagine. But it's always happened that way. I mean, we were, right there at the tail end of the Depression when World War II hit. After World War II, then we took off for, 15, 20 years. Late 60s, early 70s, we were involved in Vietnam. And, the economy was going wacky again. High inflation and stuff. And then about 10 years or so, it took off again on a big 10, 15-year run. And it goes all the way back to World War I like that. And it was the same way. So it seems like we got to go through a decade or so of bad times and get everybody feeling like everybody else, and realize we're all in this together. And, we end up turning around and doing things, bringing this country back. And it's always to bigger and better things. And it starts local, man. It starts with your own family. It starts with your local elections. Year after year of elections, and you start building something, just like building a vehicle, man. You put a good set of wheels on it, and then you put a good engine in it, and you put a body around it, and before you know it, you got a pretty good running car. That's the same thing for our country. Right now we're running on 3 flats and a spare. But it's time to put a jack on it and get on one of them tires at least. I don't know. Just finished doing some work out here. Tree limb come down, that one I cut up back yonder, and it smashed my neighbor's fence all to pieces, and it damaged my little gate around the raised garden beds. I had to fix that this morning. It ain't 100%, but it's a whole lot better than it was before I got all hold of. I can tell you that. And then I fixed my chair. Finally got my chair fixed this weekend. It's pretty solid now. It'll hold up for a while. Last time I just put a little tack in it and tried to hold it as best I could. But y'all be good. Y'all go out and vote if you get a chance tomorrow. And be proud of it, man. All you got to do in the country is be a legal citizen that hasn't gotten a felony against them, pretty much. All you got to do is just be a legal citizen, Doc. Not many places like that in the world, And it took us a long time to get here, to get to this point. But we usually get things right after we try everything else. But y'all take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll talk to y'all later.